Wake up, wake up, wake up. Good
Wake up,
morning, good
because it's
morning.
God.
Wake it
Yes,
up.
I'm so excited because it is a brand new day. Y'all know how they say we living for the weekend. We live for every day, baby. We
every
not wait.
day.
But today is Friday, and I'm glad
It-
to be in it,
but
right?
but it is Friday, so
Say what you want. It's something about Friday and Saturday and Sunday that just makes you feel good, even if you are one of the people who work on the weekends.
but it's still
Out
The weekend.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to just make you feel like, oh, hey, I've been waiting all week.
until Sunday around 8 o'clock. You
Yeah,
like,
then you be like,
oh,
guys, here we go.
oh.
But we're gonna flip that because you know it's a guy, Eric Thomas. He has the TGIM, so it's thank God. It's Monday. It's the mind shift. It's getting yourself together and saying, baby, I'm empowered every day. Every
Yeah.
day I wake up, I'm like, I'm giving God the glory. Every day is a Friday
Amen.
in my mind. When I wake up, baby, thank God it's a Monday, Friday, Tuesday, Friday, Wednesday, Friday, Thursday,
You
Friday.
just
We're
add
gonna get to the
Friday to
Friday,
it.
Friday, baby.
What? And then it's Friday.
Friday, 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 Friday.
Friday,
Friday. Yes. Go ahead. Let's get some people in the room today because today is a special day. We have a special guest. And everybody is special to us, but she's very special to me because she's my cousin. Yes. Like the cousin that I did life with. Like we used to have to, like, our parents did play. We was gonna be cousins. Um
Yes.
like we played
Yes.
together. We played together. Like just leave
Everything.
it.
Everything.
Sister cousin.
Like
You
I've
know what
known
it's
her
like?
all my life before I could know her.
Hey, I know
Yes.
you before I look. You know the real her.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
She
All,
know.
all the good, dark, deep, dirty secrets, right?
Yes.
She knows, and see that's how you know it's real cousins because you ain't never reheard it again.
Nope.
Because normally,
And
when
won't.
when you had done some stuff with some people years later, some stuff start creeping out. But
Yep.
we going to the grave with
Baby,
it.
we
Yep.
taking this. Look, we taking this to the grave, baby. We not
All the
letting nobody
way.
get in.
All the
All the
way to the
way.
grave.
I
But
love that. I
but
love
her
it. I love
name
it.
is Kavindra White. She is married and been married forever. How many years you been married?
It was 17 this year.
17 years. Yes, come on.
wow, that's
17
good.
years. They have
Great.
two big tall boys.
Yes.
She is a boy mom,
Yes.
two dogs. At least one of the dogs is a girl, right?
Yes, thank goodness. That's the balance.
She said I needed a little balance in the
Yes.
house.
Yes.
She said,
But the thing
welcome,
about
Kavindra.
Kavindra, she is super intelligent. She's always been very, very intelligent. Very, as you know, grandmamas would say, she's been old for her age. She an older age.
Got that old
Um,
soul,
Mhm.
baby, that old
Yes.
wisdom.
yes,
Also.
if you need help with something, she the first person to call. Like, read this story, read this essay, edit, put it together. because she is naturally a God anointed woman. So it's just so delightful to know her as a person, the sweetest, one of the sweetest people you know. She don't play no games, but she's sweet as
Throw that in there. I don't play no games.
she don't she
Yeah,
don't
must
play no
be.
games, but she is a sweetheart. Just don't push her line.
don't
Like
don't push it. Don't push it.
we all have that super but we are super excited to have you come onto the show.
I'm
god
glad
did
to be
some
here.
god did a major turnaround
Yes.
in your life.
Yes.
He didn't get you to, you said yes and he said no way. um
Right.
so
Mhm.
I don't want to waste any time because I want her to be able to get it all out and share with us.
Mhm.
So first of all, we thank God for you having the ability to share something this precious.
Amen.
To
Amen.
him
Um,
be the glory.
yes, so I'm gonna give you the floor, and this
Right.
is not her. Like she don't like spotlight. She don't need to be in
No.
the spotlight. I already took that over for her. That would be the cousin that she like. Girl, sit down somewhere. So this is how you know this is nobody but God, for her
Amen.
to be able to get up here and tell her story. So I'm gonna give the floor to you to go
All
ahead and
right.
tell your story.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to thank the show for having me on, for giving me the opportunity to share God's glory, first of all, because I know I don't have to have this opportunity. And I also know that, like she said, I didn't want the opportunity, but I know that when God asked me to do stuff now, I'm like, yes. And it's only when He asked me to do it. If it doesn't align with His will, then I'm not going to do it. So I'll give you a little bit of a background, I guess. I've always had anxiety, not knowing that it was anxiety. I was always worried about what other people thought, like what other people were saying. From the time I was little, like, if you're crawling around on the ground, you know how your knees get a little dark. I would be worried about that. And so I would try not to crawl and play on the ground because I didn't want my knees to be dark. When I was in school, if it was raining and I was wearing, tennis shoes, with tennis shoes back then was real rubber. Uh, and if they get wet, they're going to squeak on the floor. Well, I would be concerned about my shoes squeaking on the floor because I didn't think anybody wanted to hear that and that they were talking, bad about me. So fast forward into life, it kind of helped me in a way because I was able to use that as a driving force to get things done. Like I want to get things done, but I also wanted to get things done right. However, that was also a negative connotation of myself because I wanted perfectionism. And perfectionism is only found in Christ. He's the only one that's perfect, but I didn't realize that. I've always known him, always gone to church all my life. Everything from sitting in the little Sunday school to serving in the little children's choir, to leading the children's department, to work. I mean, just always been around. So I had a level of a relationship with him, but mostly I felt like I had religion, which I did not know until he gave me the revelation of that this year. One of the things that kind of spiraled me out of control, I can say, was in January of 2024. I lost my mom unexpectedly, and I was the person who actually found her. It's a lot of people are like, how are you standing up? How are you sitting here right now? The one thing I can say is that God always speaks to me about different things, and He usually speaks to me in dreams. So before I actually found her, I had a dream that morning that we were looking for her, and my brother and I were looking for her, and he came to me in my dream and he said, "She's not here. She's gone." And I was like, "What do you mean she's gone?" And I knew right then in my spirit when I woke up that she was no longer here on earth. And so I cried, did what I needed to do. And I said, okay, Lord, now I have to do what I really have to do. I really have to be the person now to inform my family and to let, people know. But I need confirmation. When God tells you something, you want to have that confirmation. And so I said, Lord, I'm going to keep calling her this morning and I'm going to see if she answers because I want her to answer the phone. And she didn't. And I did what I naturally would do as this my instinct as a type A personality. I was like, okay, we're gonna follow the protocol. The protocol is you call the police and do a welfare check. Did all that. Now this was a day, it was Martin Luther King Day, so it had snowed. It was a lot of snow. So I really wasn't trying to go out. So I really wanted them to say, oh yeah, she's fine. She was just in there sleeping. Her phone wasn't charged. That was not the case. They got there. She didn't of course did not answer the door, and they would not go in because they don't have the authority to bust through a door like that. So I had to go over there. And I found her sitting in her living room on the couch with the TV on, like she had been watching TV but was asleep. And so I was like, Lord, you're faithful. And that's all I could say. You're faithful, because he had already told me that she was gone. So I didn't have to worry. So I wasn't, shaken up to a point where I was hysterical. I shed some tears and I'm like, okay, this is it. Now what do I do? The problem became not in losing her, because I know where she is. I know she's in heaven right now. The problem became for me in dealing with her estate, because if you remember, I said I was a perfectionist and I was worried about what other people thought and how I'm doing things. So as I'm dealing with her estate and handling her affairs, something I had never done before in my life, I was getting worried, like, am I doing this right? Is this the right thing? And I was getting so stressed out about it. As well as I had a medical condition that I didn't even know I had at the time. Um, and going through, I guess it was menopause, all of this at the same time. And I had stressed myself out to pure ludicrousy. I was insane in a sense. Like I was out of my mind, not even knowing it. Like to myself, I sounded like I was coherent. My husband even said, "You're not making sense." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm making sense." I had gotten to a point of anxiety that I was so anxious that I was depressed, but I was not your sad and crying depressed. I was apathetic. Like I had no feeling. I was telling my friends, like, I feel like I'm Job. I feel like I'm in the valley of the shadow of death. Like I feel nothing. I wasn't sad. I wasn't happy. I wasn't mad. I was absolutely like the walking dead. I was walking around, going to work, going to church. I couldn't smile. If I did smile, it was definitely very fake. There was nothing real about it because I didn't feel anything. And so the more I stayed in that space, not knowing that it was the anxiety taking me over, I began to get paranoid and even delusional. I started thinking that my coworkers were out to get me, that I was going to be terminated, that I was going to be imprisoned for not following policy. And I tried to even convince my husband that, the new HVAC unit that we got in the house was somehow bugged. They had put something into the thermostat, and our neighbors were watching us so that they could report it back to my job. And he was like, "We're not that important. Like, what are you talking about?" And I was like, "No." I was like, "I'm telling you, that's what it is." Eventually I got to a point where I couldn't even stay at work. So the week of December the 18th and 19th, I came home on the 18th and had a conversation with my husband, telling him at that time my delusional thoughts that I was going to jail, and that we would lose the house and we would lose the kids. And then he was trying to convince me that I needed to go to the hospital. He kept trying to say, "You need to go to the hospital. You need to get help." But I was under the impression that I was okay, because it seemed like that was okay. Like I was making sense. December the 19th, I went to work and I was struggling at work. Like I couldn't problem solve. I couldn't think through things. And if you can remember, Sparkle had mentioned that, I am the person that people come to. So it was throwing me out of my circle. Like I couldn't answer easy questions. People were asking me easy questions, and I was looking at them like they were speaking a whole nother language. Like I had no idea what they were saying. And so my supervisor, being the compassionate supervisor that he is, called my husband and said, "Hey, come get her, take her home. Let's get her some help because this is not her." Well, I didn't listen. My husband and I, we were back and forth all night about me going somewhere and let's get to the hospital, let's do this. And I was like, yeah, I'm not doing it. I was like, I don't need to go to the hospital. Furthermore, we don't have insurance, which was lies. If you remember that the enemy is the father of lies. And so he was feeding me lies. Like, you don't have insurance. You're not competent enough to do your job. Nobody likes you. Nobody even wants you. You're not doing anything right. I mean, he was feeding my brain and my spirit all kinds of lies, and my body and brain were taking them in, processing them, and believing them. And so the final day at work was December the 20th. Like, I went to work. My supervisor asked me, why are you here? Like, I told you to go home yesterday. So why are you here? He's like, I don't want you doing your job right now because you're not yourself. And I was like, oh, so you're telling me to go home? You want me to leave? Kind of becoming defensive. He said, you're right. I do want you to leave. I want you to leave because I want you to get the help that you need. And I was like, I don't need help, but I'll go home, whatever. I went home December the 20th from work, and never set foot back in work until March the 27th. Here's what happened in between time. I stayed in the bed day in, day out. I had stopped doing all of my hygiene. I had stopped eating. I got down to about 110 pounds, because I had again listened to the enemy that I was not wanted. So I was like, well, if I'm not wanted, I don't need to eat. I don't need to get out of bed. I just need to stay here and eventually die. Once I die, then everything will be good. So my thought was I could die by starvation. Stupid thought, because it takes so long to do that. I never would have made it. But I never would have got there. I would have been miserable for real before I ever got there. But um, in that time, the enemy had convinced me enough of his lies that I did not need to be alive. For the first time in my life did I ever truly contemplate suicide. There had been other times when I had depression and I would think about, man, I'm better to be alone or to not be here. And I would cry and just kind of spend those days or those months like that. But this time, he had gotten me to a point where I was thinking of how to do it. I was like, can I take medicine? And how much can I take? Well, I knew I work in the medical field. I actually work in mental health. So I knew all the things that I should and shouldn't do and shouldn't say. Example, my husband was like, are you wanting to hurt yourself? And I would tell him, no, nope, I'm not. Why would I want to do that? But in my mind, I was contemplating suicide all along. I even went to my doctor. She was like, I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to be honest with me. She said, are you thinking of hurting yourself? And I was like, no, nope, not at all. I would never do that. Lying all along because I didn't want anybody to know, and I did not want to be committed at the time. And so I finally had thought up the way that I was going to do it. And on February 2nd, I used the 9mm that was in our home, and I held the barrel towards my face and I shot at my face 3 times. And all 3 times the bullet missed me. Um, Two of the spots I have no idea where they went. I see one in the ceiling still. There's still one not in this room, but there's still one in the ceiling. But it never ever hit my body. Now I'm holding it like this so that again I'm pulling the trigger with my thumbs and not my index fingers or not my middle finger, but with my thumbs to be able to shoot at my face. And never once did a bullet or any type of shrapnel hit my body. Um,
Wow.
Now, if you don't know that when you have a suicide attempt, you go on suicide watch. So I went to St. Thomas for 24 hours, and still was not in my right mind. Like, I still had not comprehended what I had done. Although I had asked the nurse, I said, I didn't make a good decision, did I? That was a bad decision. And she said, well, it's probably not a good decision. She's like, but you're going to be okay. And so I had to stay on a 24-hour suicide watch. And then from there, I went to to Trust Point. And I stayed in Trust Point for 27 days, and received intensive acute care. While I was there, I received 6 treatments of ECT, which is electroconvulsive therapy. I had heard about it through school, because, again, I'm in the medical field, and I know what these things are. It's used to treat depression. It's used to treat any type of psychosis, all of which I had. I was so convinced that I did not need to be here, that when they said they're going to give me ECT, I was like, oh, good. Thank you, Lord, because now I can die during the procedure. I don't have to do it. You can just let me die in the procedure. All the time that I'm feeling this way, I was still praying to God. I want people to know that I was still praying. I was praying my will, not his. But I felt again like I was Job in the valley of the shadow of death. And so I was like, Lord, please, let this cup pass from me. I don't want to die, but please, I don't want to feel like this either. And then I was like, Lord, I'm willing to die that my family might live and that they might be happy and go on without me. And I was praying, let my husband find more another love, like, when I'm gone, let him remarry so he's not lonely. Let the house, I mean, I was praying all these different things. People like, how are you going to be praying to God and you talking about taking your own life? Well, that's the enemy, my flesh conflicting with my spirit. And so I just kept praying. And so I thought, surely to goodness, when I go have this treatment, this is going to be the end for me. They're going to call my husband. They're going to say she didn't make it. She went through the procedure. Well, that didn't happen. I had my first treatment. And when I tell you, I left out of the procedure room like a brand new person. The very first treatment, I was like, all right, so when are we gonna go get breakfast? And they're like, well, don't you want to rest? Don't you want to lay down? You just had, and I was like, no, I'm good. I want to go eat. I am hungry. Had not been hungry in months. So if you recall, I said January of 2024 is when my mother passed. This was February of 2025 that I attempted to take my life. So a whole year later, and it was actually on the day that we had started her an anniversary, on the day that we had her memorial service. We had her memorial service February 2nd of 2024, and it was February 2nd of 2025 when I attempted to take my life. And when I go back and I look at it, we've seen the movie The Matrix and Neo's, moving all around. When I tell you, it felt like, when I think back to it, that the angels were around me as I was firing the shots. It's like they were just blocking every bullet and dart that the enemy was trying to, put towards me. And there's not even like a huge hole in the house. There's a tiny little hole, like the tip of your pinky, that is in my ceiling. And then there's a couple of clothes that still have bullet holes in it because it went through some of the clothes that were in my closet. But other than that, you can't tell what actually occurred in my household. And looking at me, you can't tell because I got down to 99 pounds total. By the time I had stopped eating, because I had stopped eating even in the hospital. When I first went to the hospital, I was like, oh, this will be good. I know how this works. I work in mental health. I know that I got to do this. I got to do that. Well, again, that's pride stepping up, the enemy being prideful. And 99 pounds is what I left the hospital weighing. The smallest I had been since before high school, probably. And I thought in my mind, oh, I look pretty good now. I don't have a lot of weight on me. And people are like, you're skinny. Like you look like a skeleton. It's not healthy. But I was still healing. So I was thinking that, no, this is good. This is the weight I need to be. And now I look back at those photos of me when I first came home from the hospital, and they were right. I looked like a skeleton. So I have, regained my strength, my energy, my spirit, my weight. I'm back to a healthy weight. My body is healthy. I'm going into remission for Graves' disease. That was the medical condition that I was dealing with that I didn't know about. And it's hyperthyroidism. And like I said, the menopause. So one of my therapists actually said, you were actually in a midlife crisis. That's what I would call a midlife crisis. You're dealing with the loss of your mom. You have this medical condition that's going on. You have your body just aging, so menopause. And then you have the changes at work. So I had just so many stressors in my life that I could not focus on my relationship with God. And so even though I was praying to him, I didn't truly believe him for what he could do for me or what he would do. So I wasn't trusting him in that process. I was simply trying to take it on all for myself. And so now I don't do that. Like, if I'm like, Lord, I need help with this. No matter how small it is, I'm looking for my keys. Lord, I need you to help me find my keys. Next thing you know, I got my keys. Lord, I need to have a stress-free, strife-free day. Next thing I know, I got a stress-free, strife-free day because I've spoken into existence, because I know more of who he is and who I am to him. And so I don't have to worry about things anymore. I don't have that anxiety anymore. I just go through life. I'm like, God, you're good. Today's a new day, and whatever is going to happen, it's going to be your will, not mine. And I'm just thankful to him that he gave me another opportunity at life, to do things better, to stop focusing on myself and focus on him, to give him the glory and really have a relationship with him and share him with other people. I'm at work now, and then, they always say, don't be talking about the Lord at work. And especially being a federal employee, you got to be careful. I'm not careful because I feel like that it's for me to do. And if he don't want me to do it, then they'll send me home and say, you can't work here no more. But I'm going to keep on saying what he's done for me.
Absolutely.
And what he can do for anybody else, and for those people to have, for a person to have hope that even when you feel like you are in the valley of the shadow of death, he is with you. He was with me the entire time. I just didn't feel like he was, but he was with me 100%.
Wow.
Yeah.
That, I mean,
it is
whoa.
so
I mean, all we can do is give
Powerful.
God all the praise. Like,
Yes.
Yes.
people always say, nobody but God. No,
Yeah.
that nobody but God.
Nobody but
that's
him.
a but God
Yes.
all the way around, wrapped around it.
Yes.
But
Yes.
God, and to hear her tell the story now, like for her to tell, like the way she tells it in so many details, and like that is nobody but God that says that's behind you now. Now I need you to go help other people, give them a hope. That's why she at the federal government is talking about, well, whatever federal government, what I'm gonna tell you is my God will do it. Like God.
Yes, he will supply all of your needs. Yes, he will. Yes, he will.
And as a person, like I said, I have known her all my life. What she's saying and what she went through as a young, that it sounds unreal to me, because and you never know what people really deal with deep down inside, because she never like ever showed any signs of anxiety or like, no, she's the one that comes through for everybody. And you have to realize the person that comes through for everybody,
sometimes they need to be checked on.
They need checks.
Yeah.
They need a hug. They need the encouragement. Problem solve something for them. Solve the problem for them.
Right.
Yes. And even at her job, because I know at her job, she's always been top ranked. Top, like I said, she's super intelligent. So I know her boss, her supervisor was like, what?
I know he had to think I was out of my mind, and I was. I tell people all the time, back when I was crazy, because I was.
But that still was another angel. God still had, that was another. God was using that as a protection, because he was like, no, I need you to go get the proper help. Anybody else would have started going to HR to try to figure out how we're gonna get this crazy woman out of here. We're not dealing with this. I'm gonna put you on suspicion, suspend you. But he didn't do
But
that.
it's the beauty in somebody recognizing that this is not normal behavior.
No, it's
and
not.
shout out to your supervisor for knowing, let me call your husband, because this is not who we see all the time. This is not. Because it could have been that they were like, you know what, we're going to have to let you go. But they chose to say, let us try and get her some help. And I think that's an amazing thing.
I want to say, last year I was in that same midlife situation, losing my sister, then son back to back. It definitely was nobody but God that kept me going, because I definitely had those moments of emptiness when I had to speak over me, because the enemy kept saying, why them and not you? And me and Tina, Kavindra, I want to commend you for sharing your story, because that someone that really needed it may not see it right now.
Yeah.
but because it's still on Facebook, they'll
Hmm.
still see it.
Okay.
Um, I'm almost in tears because my sister went through the same exact thing after our mother passed. You were almost describing her, even to the point where her husband
I
was
mean, God
trying
is, I don't know.
to wanted to have her committed. Her angels were
Hmm.
myself
Hmm.
and her sisters because we knew it wasn't her. But the paranoia,
Yeah.
the everybody at work is plotting against me, all of
Yep.
this. And I think that that's important to share because if you are the strong person and something triggers a meltdown or your brain just going to another
Hmm.
space,
Yeah.
the fact that we sometimes don't understand what another person is going through. And you are so blessed to have. And
So
she recently shared with us
Yes.
that she does have a place in her where she's very, very, very self-conscious and very, very. And she seems like the
Hmm.
strongest
Hmm.
person walking, but all of her life she's carried
Hmm.
this
Hmm.
thing about herself because she used to have a stutter. She used to have, and
Yeah.
so when she's very paranoid
Hmm.
about. And I'm
Yeah.
just thinking to myself, all of this stuff probably converged with her. But
Hmm.
even when we think we're saying the wrong thing to God, the Holy Spirit
Yeah.
cleans it up. If it's jacked up, Holy Spirit takes that jacked up prayer, cleans it up, takes it before the Father on our behalf. So no
Yeah.
matter what you were praying, God
Yeah.
has God heard you. And that's the
Yeah.
beautiful thing, that He heard you.
Yes.
Often feel deeply and give selflessly as part of their natural mind because they can sense it, absorb the emotions of others. They tend to pour so much of their own energy into helping, sealing, healing, or simply being present for people. However,
Right.
research in psychology supports that this heightened emotional attunement can also lead to empathetic stress or emotional fatigue, especially when boundaries aren't in place.
Mm.
Over time, this imbalance giving more emotional energy than one receives. I think that's what she wanted to say.
Yeah.
Um,
it's true.
who,
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it's
Somebody
so
how
true.
Kavindra asked what was the name of the treatment that
the
you
treatment
went through.
that you had?
It was called electroconvulsive therapy, so it's ECT. And what happens is a few seconds of a procedure, but they put you to sleep, and they basically put your body into a controlled seizure through electricity. So it's a shock to your body, to your brain, and they look for just this. The only thing that happens, even though it's a controlled seizure, it is really just control. So my whole body doesn't shake, but my toe would just twitch. And that's it. Then it was done. So it's a matter of a few seconds of a procedure. But
Have you ever wondered if this happened to show you how to truly trust in the Lord and be able to turn your troubles over to Him to take care of? That somebody asked that question of you. Do you think that this happened so that you would draw near?
give me a second. I think I lost some sound here.
Okay,
Okay,
we
Okay.
got
you're back. I
There we
can hear you.
go. Okay.
Someone wanted to know if you feel like this happened so that you could draw nearer to God
I
and
feel
how to
like
trust.
yes. Yes. I feel like that everything that happens is always so that you can be closer to Him. Everything. No matter what it is, good or bad, is that so you can have a better relationship with Him, because all things should be giving Him glory. So yes, I feel like that is it. He was thinking, or he was saying, you're focusing so much on yourself. Focus on me. Focus on me. Stop worrying about what you can do and let me do what I can do. I've always been one of those people. I'm like, God, I'm going to do all of this. I'm going to do all this. And this is the little part I want you to do. Just do this little part, because again, I trust him, but then I only trusted him with so much. But this time I trust him fully. It's whatever. Like there is nothing that I don't trust him with.
Amen. Well, I want
So
to give, because your husband came on and he was saying his beautiful wife, the Georgia, but and I want to commend him too, because he went through it too. That woman who you are interviewing is my beautiful, wonderful. Is she? Well, I wonder who she's married to.
Smoking
um,
jacket all over.
everyone.
yes, but he went through
That
it
is my
too.
husband. Yes, he did. He went through it as well because he had to figure out what was happening with me. I'm coming home. I told him that our accounts had been hacked. This is long before December. I came home in like October, and I was like, man, our accounts have been hacked. And he was like, what are you talking about? Now I'm telling you, I was losing my mind long before December and February ever got here. This was in like March and April that I was like, I'm not okay. And he was like, okay, it's okay to not be okay. So he was thinking that I was just still grieving. And I was grieving. It was grieving in a different way because I didn't know the difference between grieving and mourning. And I was grieving because I wasn't necessarily talking about it, but I didn't feel like I needed to talk about the loss of my mom. And so he was going through it with me, taking care of the boys, making sure that they, got what they need. He was actually taking care of me in the end because, like I said, I was not getting out of bed. My husband would put in vacation time to go grab me lunch, bring it to the house so he could make sure that I ate at least one meal a day. There would be times he would bring it and I still wouldn't eat, and I was like, I'm not hungry. But he was like, you got to eat something. But yes, everything that happened was to give God the glory so that, people know that he loves us, he cares for us, and we are his chosen people. If you have accepted his son, which I had, I am his child. I mean, that's what my shirt says today. I don't know if you can see it. I am his masterpiece is what it says. And I am. And I realize that now. For so long, it was just words, but now this is me living life as I am God's masterpiece.
Yeah, it's a difference.
And it's a difference, and the beauty
It's a
is
difference.
you recognize it. You recognize that there was and some people live that for years and don't realize that the religion and relationship are two different things.
Yes. And I had all religion. I mean, like I can tell you,
Yeah.
I mean, I do it. Like you go to church on Sunday, you pray, you give thanks to God, some scripture,
Take communion.
Take communion, all the little, religious little things to say, okay, yes, I believe in God. But then this was a situation of, do you really believe in God? Now, I'm going to tell you how far I even went with that when I was sick. I even said, Lord, even when I die, in order for my family to have what they need, I am willing to go to hell and be separated from you. I am willing to do that.
Whoa.
But I want my family to go to heaven. I want my family to
She
have
was
a
still
relationship
concerned
with
about
you.
everybody else.
I want them to be okay without me. Lord, I can feel your wrath. It'll be okay. I'll take that on. That's how bad I was and how I was feeling. Is that I just didn't want to be here. I don't want to be here on earth. I was like, just take me from earth. If I can go to hell, then that's fine. I'll deal with that. But again, I'm constantly
the
praying to
enemy
him. I'm
was
talking to him.
But that's that enemy.
The
That
enemy was
enemy had
really
gotten in her
Yeah.
head. So, like,
he was
the
trying to tell
enemy
you
can
you was
start
going to
taking
hell.
over.
Mhm.
It took over her. The enemy took over,
Mhm.
Your
and
mind.
you give him a little
Yeah.
crack. He
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm in. So
Mhm.
he just started
Mhm.
playing field, but he
Yep.
didn't win. That's
Yep.
the that's the he did not win.
Not at all. Not at all.
And the crazy thing to me is the enemy, what people don't realize, because you were the strong person, you were the
Right.
go-to person, you were the one that everybody
Mhm.
trusted in, you were the one that everybody said, oh, let me call Kavindra because she got the answer.
Mhm.
What he strategically done was to attack you, because if I can take you out, I messed up a whole lot of
I
other
can take
people who
care
are
of it.
coming
Mhm.
to you, who are
Yeah.
depending on you,
Yeah.
who are relying on you.
Mhm.
So we got to make sure that, in circumstances where people who are handling a lot, because
Mm-hmm.
there are some people who handle a lot.
They
You'll
Yes.
never know what
naturally.
they deal with, and you only see the outside, but
Yes.
internally they're going through a lot because it is a lot
Struggling.
to handle everybody
Struggling.
else's problems. It
Yes.
is a lot to be the
Yes.
solution for everybody else.
Yes.
And
Yes.
when you get into a situation where you start thinking, "Oh, wait a minute," because the enemy wants you to second guess yourself. And the
Yes.
Mhm.
more that you do
Yep.
that, the wilder your thoughts become. Because
Yes.
now you're like,
Yep.
whoa, wait a minute. I don't have to
Mm-hmm.
be here because it's not, you know what I'm saying? And it took
Yep.
you in a spiral, and it's so much of a blessing that your husband was able to say,
Yeah.
"This is my wife. Let
Yeah.
me
Mhm.
make sure I do what I need to do," because there's some people who can't handle that. Some
Right.
people
Right.
will say,
My
"Let me
brother-in-law
pack my
can.
bags and get up out of here
Get
because
out.
I
Yep.
can handle
Mhm.
that level."
Mhm.
Yep.
And this is my out.
Yep.
Yeah.
This
Yes,
is
like,
Yeah.
this is my out.
thank you,
Yeah.
Gina. I was waiting. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. On
Yeah.
several levels. But what I love is that you have positioned yourself with such a way with everybody else that they knew, now
Mhm.
something's not right. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of people you look at like, girl, I don't know what's wrong with them. They just crazy or they just
Yeah.
very, that's just how they
Yeah.
are. But
Yeah.
they didn't brush it off with you. And that's to
Mhm.
say how
Right.
powerful God's anointing is on your life, that people
To
didn't
him be the
dismiss
glory.
that behavior. People didn't
Yeah.
just say, whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
For you to
Yeah.
be able to still stand and say that even in a government job, I'm going to say what I say and I'm going to do
Yeah.
what I do and I stand
Yeah.
on what God did for me.
Yeah.
You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
In the most unlikely place where everybody's getting, losing jobs with the government,
Yes.
over here all
Yes.
panicked and scared, and you're saying, I care not because
Yeah.
what God did
I
for
could
me,
care
Right.
less.
I
Right.
did not
Because
Right.
you
care.
Absolutely.
just a job. She is
Yeah.
really like, you are
Yeah.
not my provider.
No,
You
not
are
at all.
not my
Not at all.
provider. And
Right.
and when she's been through what she's been through, she like, really? Is that your best shot?
That it. That's it. That's it.
Do,
Is
y-
that the
do
best
y'all
you
remember
got?
and what love got to do with it when Ike and Tina were in the back of that car and he was trying to fight and she said, "Is that all you got, Ike?
Yeah.
Is that all
Yeah.
you got?"
Is that
Yeah.
all
That
you
is
have?
how we have to be with the devil to say that whatever you're gonna do
Mm-hmm.
can't outdo my God. Whatever you're
Right.
gonna come with, bring it because
Yep.
you can't destroy what God has created. You
Absolutely.
cannot.
You cannot.
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
and
That's
not
just
only
beautiful.
that, she broke some curses,
Mm-hmm.
she
Mm-hmm.
broke some, like, she
Mm-hmm.
went through it, yes, but
Yes.
what she did for her family, for
Mm-hmm.
the people around her, the
Mm-hmm.
people she's talking to, and she's telling her story, because I promise you, this Kavindra doesn't do this. she
No,
doesn't she doesn't do no,
I'm an
I'm going to
introvert.
be the speaker of the year, like that is. Now she might write it all up. She might
Yeah.
put it all together. Here goes the whole book.
Yeah.
Now you go run with it.
Yeah.
That's who she is. She's
Yeah.
not impressed. She ain't trying to impress the world in any kind of way.
No.
She is who she is. So how God shift her and shift everything, so
Mm.
people are really able to look at her and say, if God did it for her,
For her,
Well,
yes, he will do it
he
for
can do it
you.
for
He
you.
will.
Yep.
He
because we
absolutely
Yep.
will.
all know when you put a gun to your face, like,
Mm-hmm.
Girl,
you don't have
how
to
is that
have
possible? But
you.
God.
Yeah.
How is
Yeah.
that possible? But God.
How is it?
Yeah.
And she did it 3 times, not
Mhm.
one, but 3 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
And I
Only
just
is
God.
say
Only God.
nobody but God.
only
And I
but
think that
God,
it's
and that's
also
why I'm so hurt and proud all in one,
Mhm.
because you are stepping out of full comfort zone to still tell
Yep.
somebody, no, no, no. That's the enemy talking to you,
Yes.
and if you
Mm-hmm.
keep on talking to the enemy, he gonna kill you.
Yeah. He will.
He comes to kill,
you know, to
steal, and
kill
Steal and
destroy.
and
destroy. And
destroy.
that's what he was
Mm-hmm.
doing. He was stealing my identity. He was trying to destroy who I was as a person, and he was trying to kill me. Absolutely.
He was
But
out
Absolutely.
to get her.
the beauty of
And
it,
she
I keep
works in
thinking
mental
about,
health. Like she
I was about to say, she worked,
Yeah.
she
she
studied
I
said
this.
knew
this is
better.
what she do.
Yeah.
I knew
Yeah.
what they were going to do. I knew what was going to happen because this is where I work. So God made sure to keep you
Mm-hmm.
in your mind enough to
Yes.
say, I know what they're going to do. I know how
Yep.
this is going to work.
Yep.
So even though you're thinking, hey, I want to go take this treatment and they can just shock me and I
Yeah.
can die, whatever,
Yeah.
God is like,
Mm-hmm.
no, you so clear
Mm-hmm.
minded,
Yes.
really clear minded that you can
Yes.
think clearly and say, I know what they're going to do.
Yes. Yep.
So God protects the mind. That's why God
Yeah.
addresses the mind in the word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because
Mm-hmm.
he
So
knows if they get in
he
that
knows that
mind,
our mind,
Yeah.
our mind,
that mind
eh,
can do a whole bunch of stuff that
Yes.
yes.
It will
Exactly. I'm
create
gonna go to this
stuff.
comment Regina has. She said those are spirits that try to attach themselves. It's all
Yeah.
part of spiritual
Yeah.
warfare.
Yep.
The enemy isn't after your body or your possessions. It's your
Yeah.
soul he's after because
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
that's where your purpose and your power dwell.
Yes.
Right.
He wasn't after her car. He wasn't
Nope.
after her
Mm-mm.
house. He like, I don't care, man. I want her mind.
Yep.
If I can get her mind, her soul,
Yep.
like, and like you was saying, Angela, earlier, because the enemy knew if I take her out, how many other people am
Mm-hmm.
like she's attached to so many things. She
Yeah.
works in the back, she has her own family. She's attached to the medical field. So all these statistics, he like, whoo, I'll take
Yeah.
out.
And don't forget, she's raising two men
Mm-hmm.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
and two black men at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Do you know how much of a seed raising two
Mm-hmm.
black men to be powerful in society? If I can take you out, then I'm going to put seeds
Yeah.
of doubt out of them to where moving
Yes.
forward, they can't fully operate in who they're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's so
Right. Right.
many things that you can attach to this and see beyond just what she said about trying
Mm-hmm.
to take her life and God not letting the bullets hit her, but the
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
impact that
Yeah.
Yeah.
that one action could have done
Mm-hmm.
for not
Mm-hmm.
only, like Sparky said, for your legacy, for the
Yeah.
Yeah.
two young men
Yeah.
and your husband to have three
Mhm.
men that you are
Three.
three men that could and that affects in so much of a different way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Affect in
Yeah.
such a different way.
Yeah.
And not only that, now she's able to see the signs from her, like when they're trying to hide some stuff. She's like,
Nope. Mm-hmm. Mm.
ain't no hiding around here.
Nope. None. None.
Because
Absolutely.
her sons uh, is super intelligent as well. So they are leaders as they're leaders themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So she broke off all those generational curses that
Mm-hmm.
could have that's no longer gonna exist. It's
Yes.
gone.
Yes.
Because you know
Yes.
when people say, "Why me? Why me, God? Why am
Yeah.
I the one?"
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's the key to that because
Yeah.
the legacy and what would have transpired would have been stopped had
Yeah.
you not, had you went ahead and been successful. But God
Yeah.
was like, it's so much on this family. Your friend came and said that Kavindra and her family have become a blessing in my life and one of my most treasured friends.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know, like I said, the impact that your life has made
Yeah.
on other people, not
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
cousin, but on a whole lot of people, the people at your
Yeah.
job, people at your church, the people that your sons are connected to, their
Yeah.
friends. It is a ongoing thing. And sometimes the enemy will make you doubt who you are.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
enemy will make you think you're irrelevant. The enemy will make you think nobody cares if you drop off the face of the earth.
Yeah. Yep.
But that's
And
not
that's
the
where I
case.
was.
And
Yep.
hopefully a
That's
lot of people will understand that the
Well,
enemy will trick you to
He
thinking
yes.
will.
that you're not important, that you don't matter, but you matter.
You
And that's
do.
the thing. The big word is he tricks you. There is no truth to anything that he's saying, but he tricks you. He is there to deceive you into thinking that there's no truth in it. None whatsoever. There's nothing that he says that is ever true. And then, somebody said, well, sometimes he brings up what I did in the past. But when you're the child of God, it's covered in the blood. So you can say, and what?
and
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
And what?
And
Uh,
That's covered.
Yeah.
I'm
And that
forgiven
was
for
covered
that.
too.
Yeah, and that's covered too. And what? That's what I usually say. When he tries to bring up stuff from my past, I say, and what? What else
Yeah.
about that? Because again, my sins have been forgiven and covered in the blood. So you bringing up stuff that don't even matter. Nobody cares about that.
Mm-mm.
Exactly.
And
And look at the
God kept
boldness.
his
I
promise
love that.
to you.
Yeah,
The
Go ahead, Miss
boldness
Kavindra.
And
from it.
yeah. And never had
because
that
God
before.
said, God
But
said,
but because of what you've been through, look at your boldness.
Yep.
Sparkle said, "This is not you, but you
Yeah.
can boldly speak about what God has done for you because you faced something that the enemy tried to take you out, and now you like, is that the best you got?
Yes.
And what? Bring
Yes.
it.
And
And
what?
what?
And
Because you can be like that now because you've been tested and been through the fire and came out, and you didn't
Yes.
smell like smoke.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
did
Yes,
not
ma'am.
does not
Mm.
even have the sense of smoke.
Scent
Like
of smoke on you, not on your
no,
clothes,
Not at
not on
all.
anything.
not at all. But as we
God is
wrap
good.
up, Kavindra, can you just tell people, like, explain if they're going, if mentally they're going through some things and the enemy is talking, because he speaks, but
Yeah.
we you know when it's him because it's always
Yeah.
something so off the wall, and
Yes.
so, or sometimes it might make sense, but
Yeah.
can you speak to the people just in these last moments of if they're going through some things right now, because I know some people on here right now
Mhm.
are facing
Yes.
some things. Just speak
Yeah.
from your heart.
Yeah. First of all, know that you're not alone. I want people to know that because the enemy wants you to think that you're alone and he wants to isolate you. You think about how if you get a person isolated, then they have no one there to defend them. So you stay in touch with people. The very first thing to do, if nothing else, call 988. It's the crisis line. And just say, I'm in a crisis, and they will talk with you to get you some help. Sometimes that means going to a hospital. Sometimes that means just talking to somebody to help you rationalize things. The other thing is don't be afraid of medications. Don't be afraid of therapy. All of those things are meant to help. Just like God created plumbers. So when you have a leak in your house, you call a plumber. You don't just pray about it. You have a plumber that you call for your body. When there is something that is needed, sometimes it's going to be medication, sometimes it's going to be having therapy, and that should be all right with you because God created those people as well.
Amen.
So get the help that you need. Know that you're not alone. If something doesn't sound right, doesn't feel right, talk to somebody and say, I'm having these thoughts and something doesn't seem right. Not necessarily thoughts that you're wanting to harm yourself, but they just don't quite make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Say, I don't know, this just ain't sitting right with me. Talk to somebody. If they don't listen, go talk to somebody else because there are people out there willing to help and people that are ready to help. So don't stand in it alone. As in separating from someone, just know that you're not alone. There are other people in the world going through the same things that you are and even worse, and know that you can overcome it. You can get beyond this and you can be restored to bigger and better.
Amen. What was that number again?
The number is 988. It's like calling 911, but you dial 988, and it's a direct line to help in a time of a crisis.
988.
Yes.
We have to
Amen.
keep that number in mind, just like we
Yeah.
keep 911,
Yeah. And
because
I'm
you
glad
Mm-hmm.
might
that you
have
all
to be the
actually
one
had
to
me.
call 988 for
Yeah.
somebody or for
Yeah.
yourself.
Yep.
And I
Absolutely.
think one of the
Yeah.
things that God is saying, I'm hearing him saying, that shame, embarrassed,
Mm.
that pride of, oh, but people gonna know, and
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And this
what?
is yeah,
yeah, and what?
and this is Mental Health Awareness Month. So I'm actually glad you guys had me on this month. Sparkle and I had talked earlier about me being on the show back in August, and
Mm-hmm.
God knew when it was time. This is Mental Health Awareness Month. I'm completely stable. I'm completely back working. I am a supervisor. I'm supervising my employees. I am living my life. I'm able to cook for my family. I'm driving. I'm traveling. I am doing everything and more than when I was in my crisis. So know that it is a crisis. It is temporary. What God has for you is permanent. It's forever. So just continue to trust in him. Remember that number 988. Call out for help. As mental health awareness, just know anxiety and depression are from the enemy. It's not from God. He does not desire for you to be in a state of anxiety or depression. So just get the help that's out there.
And I promise you, if you have any questions that you don't want to say or ask in public, or type in, I promise you, she is that type of person. I can tell you, she's a safe place.
Yes.
Like I said, it's plenty things that I have done that I've never heard about it ever. And that's what I'm saying. You have a solid, safe place.
Yes.
So if you need to reach out to her, send me a message. Like,
yes.
I promise you, you're in a great place. She's a safe place. She's not gonna go tell your business. She probably gonna forget after. I mean,
that
I know
part.
when people talk to me.
That part.
I don't even remember. I'm like,
what did we talk about? People say, you remember what we talked about? And I say, honey, I don't remember. I done slept since then. I don't know what we talked about.
Exactly.
So we grateful, like, thank you, God. I mean, it's just a great way.
Him is all the glory.
All the glory. So keep on giving him all the glory. Keep showing up. Keep showing out. Keep showing people that God really will turn it around. Like, literally,
around.
He will turn it
around and around
and
around
and around
Come on,
and around. Yes.
You will be sitting here thinking, like she said, that she's even better than she was then. Like, you know that's God. Like, when you can come from a crisis like that, and now you can say, I'm better.
Yes.
Girl, Rika said it earlier about when we talked the other day about restoration.
Restoration.
When God restores, it's better.
When he restored. And he restored. And he's restoring us. Like, I'm telling you, we all have to fight that enemy.
Yes.
I don't care the closest relationship you have with God. That enemy still is
still after you. He is still after you. He
still will say some foolish things. And you really got to be like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. So we truly, truly thank you for coming on. We hope we will definitely have you back again to help on other projects that we're working on, because we need each other. Like, when it boils down, I need you, you need me. We need each other, because isolation is real. It'll make you feel like don't nobody care, don't nobody want to talk to you. You've been saying that same stuff over and over and over. You got that same cry.
Yeah.
People, we're here.
Yes,
everybody needs a hug. Everybody needs a smile. Everybody needs a hand. Take my hand, girl, right?
Yes.
For a moment. Just let me feel another pulse. So, and we're stronger together. We're stronger together.
Absolutely.
We're one and two. Touch and agree. When we touch and agree, it changes things. So again, thank you so much. Thank you from the bottom of our heart for coming on.
Absolutely.
Yes, I look forward to your book. Angela is a publisher.
Oh gosh.
Yes. So I just feel like that God's gonna start having you get to other people in other ways. And I'm hearing a book, because a book is it goes in the world. Like, you don't have control. You don't have to come and set up and do all that kind of stuff. But Angela is your girl. She's a publisher, so she'll carry you along. You know, I didn't even try to write no book. Like, what?
I know. You know what I was thinking.
So when we get up off here, I'm gonna get you.
Yes. So that is all. Again, thank you. I mean, I can't not thank God enough to just thank God for saving your life. Saving you.
God.
For turning your no into a yes. I will live for you. I will
Yes.
tell the world for you. That's all. Y'all have a great weekend.
Yes.
Enjoy your weekend. We will see you back on Tuesday, because here on the Empower Morning Show, one thing that we do is we believe God. I believe God. Do you believe God?
We
We
do
believe
believe
God.
God.
We believe God. We believe God. We believe God. We believe God is
Yes.
the final answer to
We
it
do.
all. We
Yes.
just
Point
To it all.
believe
blank
God.
period.
We
Point
believe
Yes.
God.
blank period.
Have a
Y'all
blessed
have a
one.
good
We will see you on
weekend.
Tuesday.
Bye.